the Rodents of Unusual Flex.
Yeah.
We're talking about
ROUSS. I see
we're
you.
talking about the Bushwick rats.
Yeah, the Bushwick rats in particular are pretty rough.
Yeah.
Stop.
How is my sound? Do I sound okay?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
sound fine.
Okay.
can't
Did I
hear you.
sound that? Did I sound the same with the fan on? Did you notice a difference?
No.
No. Okay.
Is the fan on or off now?
Now it's off.
Oh yeah, I mean I don't notice a difference.
Okay. All right. I'm just trying to figure this out.
I'm in ninja mode because I'm on my way to the store. Katie's email is.
I can't hear you. Your sound is really bad. Maybe because you're on your way to the store. Just put it in the chat if you can. Okay.
Oh, the chat box. My school, in the middle of all this nonsense that's going on in the world right now, they had an auditor from Albany show up in the virtual classrooms this week.
Really?
Why? To audit?
Like to audit to make sure, like basically they like to hassle transfer schools because they think it's because bean counters think it's like a bad investment because these are like bad kids, blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so they give us a whole bunch of crap. So these auditors from the state fortunately they didn't come to mine, but they came to like my coworkers' classes, and for some reason they had an obsession with the chat box and making the chat box available to students. So like I feel like I've heard so much about the chat box. Like,
Oh yeah.
Like,
Was this strictly Zoom or?
Yeah, this is on Zoom.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, how's it going?
I just wanted to say, really quick. One, I'm ghost. I'm in shadow mode because I'm driving. I'm running to the store and I'll be home in just a second. Two, I want everyone to be cognizant of the time. Like we got 40 minutes, so we'll probably like time out and start over again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But because I guess there's a whole bunch of people in the Zoom, we only got like 40 minutes.
Hey, so you should you should give me Katie's.
I did.
Oh, you did?
I'll give it to you again. I give it to you like, I don't know.
Where did you give it to me?
Like every other week, you're like, "What's Katie's email?"
Where did you give it to me?
Every time we Zoom and you ask me what his email is, I give it to you.
Yeah,
Why?
but that's like 20,000 messages ago. When did you give it to me recently?
Like 2 Zooms ago, remember?
Dude, that's literally.
Clue is. Here's the thing, Mike. I should only have to give it to you like once.
Yeah, but the possibility of Katie coming around is like zilch. I thought you gave it to me today or something, or in the chat.
I gave it to you about 10 minutes ago. I said it's at gmail.com.
I have to look for it then.
No, I'm telling you. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Clue is klewis at gmail.com. Write it down because I feel like a living Rolodex.
This is you see what I have to go through.
You're causing the trouble yourself.
klewis@gmail.com.
Right? I give this guy like all the time. I'm giving him this email address.
You've given it to me like twice, and we've been in many chats.
Twice.
Lewis.
Are you all from New York City? Are you all in New York City?
Yeah.
Oh, so y'all all have the same problem that Mike has with these super rare Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle rats?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Got rats like that.
Yeah, because I feel like Mike robbed me of like at least 3 weeks of my life over the rats in New York City. I don't know. I don't know if he's told you that story, but you guys probably share similar horror stories.
Yeah, I think I just told one that shook Mike to his core for about 20 seconds, but he's all right now.
Well, that's some interesting noises.
Yeah, is anyone else having problem with the sound?
Yes.
Yeah, somebody sounded like a robot.
It's Cynthia again, I think. Hey, Cynthia.
Everyone.
Yeah.
Hey, can you try changing your microphone setting?
Yeah, her image is frozen on my screen too.
Yeah. Whenever that happens to me, I have to change my microphone setting.
Maybe the ghost girl from the ring got her.
I'll try to let her know in the chat.
4 packs of by pounds.
No, I heard you. I just have to.
Oh, okay. I'm just noticing your Tupac shirt.
Oh, now no.
Yeah, what is it? What does it say up top?
What does it say up top? This is the all eyes on me one.
Oh, okay. Cool.
California love. Who wants to do karaoke?
I could have worn the one that. I could have worn the one with him giving the middle finger to the NYPD. That's kind of appropriate right now.
Oh yeah, definitely. I posted the song "Dear Mr. President" with him and the Outlaws the other day. That's a really good one.
What's a president? We don't have one of those.
Yeah, it talks about the president sending troops and stuff like that. So what's the deal?
Wait a minute, Mike. Are you telling me you got me in a Zoom with a bunch of liberals?
Nope.
I just heard somebody diss my president.
No, she meant that he's a king, not a president.
An emperor.
I hope everybody understands sarcasm.
He's a savior to some folks, not just a president. I think that is the thing, though. There's kind of like this religious cult thing going around the president, which is why he can do no wrong.
Yeah, he can shoot somebody in the middle of Fifth Avenue and he wouldn't lose any supporters.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there you have it.
So I was trying to figure out what is the difference between the sending out the Coast Guard and sending out the national troops he was talking about.
What do you mean by national troops?
Well, they keep saying that
the National Guard is land troops and the Coast Guard is water for one, but other than that.
Well, no, sir, I'm probably saying it wrong. The troops that they usually send when there's some kind of big problem, I think has to get I don't know if they're usually from the state or if they're I don't know, they're saying the president trying to send in national troops is an unprecedented
You're talking about the National Guard.
Okay.
As a provision of the Patriot Act, right? Because the United States military can't take up arms against its own people.
Okay.
But as a provision of the Patriot Act, we have NORCOM, or Northern Command, which is meant to combat terrorism on the homeland, and that is selective branches of the United States Armed Forces.
Okay.
It's comprised of.
So that's what he wants to send in is NORCOM?
I don't know that he'd send in NORCOM. He'd have to declare a state of emergency and say that it was, somehow based in a terrorist act in order to deploy NORCOM for those purposes.
Well, he's already declared Antifa a terrorist organization. And Antifa is one of the main one of the main
He'd
protesters.
have to put us, in order to deploy NORCOM, he'd have to put us in a state of emergency because, again,
Yeah.
you know, there's litigation, right? Like you have
Yeah.
to
There's been
before
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
there's
you're
been
court has
talks about that.
against the citizen.
Yeah, there's been talks about that, about him doing that. And then there's been some governors saying that they wouldn't allow it.
Yeah, but you know, he's a trumpeter, right? He trumpets.
Yeah. No, I was just trying to get in my head clear the difference between that. So one is the US Army and the other is just they normally send in the National Guard, right?
Yeah, but the National Guard is like its own thing. Like he's not going to be deploying soldiers from like Fort Benning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I got it.
Well, also, I think don't the governors have power to deploy their own state's specific National Guard? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, they do.
Oh, okay.
I'm
So that's
reading the Maryland governor, that he actually deployed the National Guard in order. He actually deployed the National Guard.
Yeah, but Donald Trump ultimately trumps the governors because the commander in
No
chief
pun
of all.
intended.
Yeah, no pun intended. The commander in chief of all military personnel is the president. He's the highest in the chain of command.
That's terrifying.
Okay,
So
now I want Barack back.
What were you saying, Emily, about the Maryland governor?
Oh yeah, that he deployed the Maryland National Guard to protect a whole huge stash of COVID tests that he had ordered from North Korea because he was afraid that Trump was going to come through and steal them.
I see. Yeah.
Because Trump was first he friggin' told he told the governors to find their own supplies.
Right.
Then governors did what he told them to do and found their own supplies. He tried to bogart them.
Right.
Well, that's good politics, right?
Yeah.
It's politics. I don't know if I'd call it good, but it's politics.
Well, it's very strange politics because it's for folks that are Republicans, their thing is usually states' rights, or it's supposed to be. We're going to be in a position
it's
where
states' rights until it's something they don't like. They sure as hell don't want states' rights for abortion.
Yeah.
See, the problem is though, we get an idea of what is right in a normal situation. The problem is when the president declares a national emergency, what we think is right kind of goes out the window because they have all kind of powers. They get all kind of special powers and privileges in a state of emergency, and states kind of have to kowtow to that.
Yeah.
So
It's like a slippery slope.
This is why it's really bad that we don't have a mentally competent president right now.
Yep.
Well, what's the amendment that allows them to get rid of him because he's mentally
25th.
incompetent?
Yeah, the 25th.
25.
And even then, though, it's not easy.
Oh no, I'm sure it's not.
Everything's got to be litigated.
Yeah, they don't make these things easy.
Is my audio better now?
Much better.
It's better now. Yep.
Okay.
I'm convinced, that Trump is flying off the damn handle because he's terrified of losing the election, and with losing the election comes the fact that he loses immunity from prosecution. I think because he can, I think there's evidence to charge him with federal crimes right now, and you can't do it because he's the president.
That's
Well,
ridiculous.
he's asked that question already. If he could give himself immunity, right?
Well, he kind of did, right? He circumvented he circumvented charges. He undermined a bunch of stuff. Got rid of a bunch of people.
Well, he got rid of anyone who questioned him.
Yeah. But I think he I mean, he was asking if he has that like literal power to actually pardon himself. Which should
Yeah,
have been
no,
a
he
big,
doesn't have that.
big wake-up call to people that he
I'm so
actually
sorry.
asked that question.
I'm really sorry to do this, but I'm getting a text from a friend who's saying that she's having an emergency, so I kind of have to get off. But
Okay, well, yeah, thanks for dipping in. Sorry that I ended up late today, but
no,
it was good to,
that's
yeah.
okay. If you do this again next time, I don't know. I didn't catch your friend's name. Was it Ish? You said.
Yeah,
yeah.
Ish.
Okay, it was nice to meet you, even though I didn't get to see your face. But it's nice to hear your voice. And,
I'm actually about to come out of ghost mode. I was just driving.
oh, all right. Well, I'm about to get off because, well, my friend is having an emergency, and also I need a haircut. But
Okay.
so I'm just playing. But anyway, I hope to. If you're doing this again, I would love to be part of the longer participation. I think that I would really enjoy that, and I hope that you wouldn't mind having me around. And everyone else, I'll see you all next Friday. Okay.
Okay. All right. See you then.
Bye.
Good night,
Bye.
everybody. Stay safe.
All right.
Good
Okay.
night.
And then there
Okay,
was
so I
one-
haven't heard from Kelsey.
Cynthia, should we text Julian?
Yes. What the hell is
Oh
going
yeah,
on?
what's up with Julian?
He
We don't
usually
know.
says when he can't join, so I'm surprised he didn't say anything this time. I'll leave the texting to you. Oh,
I'll
wait,
t-
no, I'll message him here too. Are you texting him or messaging him on Facebook Messenger?
I'm gonna text him
Okay.
because you just.
Text
Facebook-
Danny too. I'm sure they're
I don't
together.
have her number, but yeah.
Oh.
Flav, did KD get back with you?
No, I was just telling you he didn't.
No, I had to come back out to my car, so my Wi-Fi went out for a second.
Oh, okay. No, he didn't. But I'm trying to put all of his
That's weird.
information. I'm trying to
It's
put all
weird
of his
because
information.
I had spoken with him right before when I messaged you on Messenger. I had just spoken with him,
Okay.
like audibly, you know.
Yeah.
It was a verbal. It wasn't like a message or anything. I called him. KD, I tell you. What about Joey?
Yeah, Joey, I sent an invite to.
So did you hear that the NFL commissioner apologized for not, recognizing the players' needs to protest and encouraged them to protest peacefully in the future?
That's interesting. Is that the one who was saying that there was no problem with racism in the NFL?
That's the one who
Well,
was like blocking, basically like blacklisting Colin Kaepernick from playing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Roger Goodell. He did a Twitter video.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm
Okay.
anxious rather than later because people died. But I'm anxious to see how you figured everybody's going to be kneeling next season, and I'm just anxious to see if the same people who were so upset with this guy kneeling at a game are going to be as upset. I hope not. I hope there's like real, at least a real desire to understand and listen rather than just, I don't want to see this when I'm watching football.
Right.
I mean, I don't think the players will have a problem with it. Like, I think it's going to be the fans temper tantruming.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And honestly, they could go
what is
screw
Julian's what's Julian's email?
You sent him an invite. He just
right. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I sent a mass. I forgot. I sent a mass invite.
Yeah, he said he might join a little bit later. He said,
okay.
"Oh, I meant to let you know I was going to be late."
Oh, okay.
What
Julian.
could he possibly be doing?
Yeah, aren't we all supposed to be inside?
Exactly.
That's right. Do you guys have a curfew?
Yeah, 8 p.m.
I just broke curfew.
Oh shit.
Oh, man. Hey, what's Kelsey's telephone number?
You're gonna write it down, or am I gonna give it to you every week?
I'm putting it
Here
in
we
my
go
phone,
again.
asshole.
Oh my god. Settle
Yeah,
down,
putting it-
guys.
Putting it in my phone this time.
Okay. All right, let me see here. It is area code 716-370-8379.
Okay.
Did you call me by my nickname?
What, asshole?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't. I didn't know
just
that.
wanted to. I just wanted to clarify.
I had no idea.
I was gonna say, who told you?
Oh, witty banter.
So, have y'all been paying attention to the situation that happened here in Buffalo with the two cops that pushed the old guy down? And
I saw that. Yeah,
I
that's
saw it, but-
unconscionable.
What's the update?
so
Didn't they
he's
get
in critical, but he'll
suspended?
be okay. The two officers got suspended, and then
That's it? Just a suspension? What if the
Well,
guy dies?
it kind of gets better
God,
because
stop.
well, not better in a good way though. Like, so the other 50 people on that task force, in a show of solidarity, resigned from SWAT to show support to the two police officers that got suspended.
What? Are you fucking kidding me? They saw what happened and they're on his side, on their side?
Yeah, like they
Of course.
didn't do anything.
Of course they are.
And they didn't quit the police force. They just resigned from that particular task force that they were on as like a
Right.
show of like unity.
I hope they never get rehired.
Well, they didn't. They're still cops.
Yeah, they didn't
They were-
quit their job. They just like quit their role ostensibly.
Yeah, they were pretty
Yeah.
much like SWAT, and they resigned from SWAT because
they're
the
gonna-
other two guys got suspended.
So they're gonna like walk the beat now. That might even
I mean,
be worse for people. Now,
Yeah,
like,
but
now,
that's what I was gonna say.
now those guys who are used to like getting out their aggression, kicking in doors, and using battering rams are gonna be, you know.
It's like
doing
taking a
other
hit on
things.
two kings in blackjack. Like they just double down on crap.
Yeah. That's
It
like
can't
where's
be
all
a
that
good look.
aggression?
Yeah, this is not gonna end well.
Yeah, it's not a good look. It's just not a good look. Like
They should make
pushing
them
that
like
guy wasn't a good look.
They should make them like wrestlers or something. You know, like
Who
do
the
something else
police?
with all. Yeah. Like the SWAT team
Wrestlers?
can be like, yeah, you can be wrestlers.
I don't know, man.
See, here's what you do. They have a wrestling team, and then the thugs have a wrestling team. And then whenever they want to, like, get out their aggression, the teams just play each other. That's how they resolve stuff.
So it's interesting because it reminds me. There's a comic book that just came out like a month ago called On the Stump,
Okay.
and that's how they negotiate politics. Like they fight. Like the senator, like you have all of the senators are combatants, all of them,
Okay.
and they all have special skill sets, and you don't even know what the legislation is that they're fighting over, but there's always a piece of legislation, right? And
Okay.
it's on pay-per-view, and the world gets to watch, and the winner gets his piece of legislation passed.
They should do
interesting.
that.
There you go.
I would love to see these oldies that are in Congress right now fight for whatever it is they believe in. That would be amazing.
So I have a question because I like to just throw questions on the table.
Mhm.
This is a question that we discussed on another show, but we have some, some new people, some people I haven't met before, people I haven't asked the question to before. So, did we get screwed by Ruth Bader Ginsburg not stepping down when Obama suggested it?
Depends on if Trump wins.
When did Obama suggest it?
During his administration, he suggested
Why
that
though?
so that he could replace her.
So Trump wouldn't be able to.
Right.
Oh my
When did he
God.
suggest this during his first or second administration?
During his first.
Interesting.
However, she and I like her,
Mhm.
but there was a question of competency, and I from what I understand, it wasn't like we're trying to make it like you're incompetent or anything. You know what I mean?
Right.
It was more along the lines of like, you've done a great job, you've done it for a long time, like take one for the team. You know what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
she
Right.
just, from what I read, what I recently read when I was reading about her, she just felt like she had more to offer, and so
So
And
here
she
we
does
are.
like,
Yeah.
and she does like push-ups every day and all that stuff. So I'm sure she thought she was, pretty
Yeah,
strong.
and I mean, I'm not knocking her because I like RBG.
Yeah.
I just like to ask that question. You know what I mean?
So
Like,
smart as a whip, and she's still kicking it. So.
yeah,
I mean, I
we'll
think that,
see.
like, remember, Cynthia, we were talking about our grandmothers earlier, like possibly living to be 100. Like,
Yeah.
I think that RBG is in. I mean, I like hold my breath and have a panic attack every time she has a health problem.
Yeah.
I think that, like, I think she can make it till January, like, at least. My worry is, like, what if 45 gets reelected? Then we could be fucked.
Right.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Oh.
Well,
And,
wait a
like,
minute,
Yeah.
but so what's the deal though? Like, even if he does get reelected, as long as because you mean because she could die during his administration?
yeah, like, if she
I see.
died if he got reelected and she died sometime, like, that would be 4 more years that we would have to hold our breath that she didn't die. Whereas,
So the idea is, right, if Biden gets reelected, she steps down and he replaces her. If Trump gets elected, she can't step down.
Right. Is that the plan? Is that what they're going for?
That's the idea. I don't know that that's Biden's plan because this guy's loony. So I mean, I don't know what his plan. I don't know.
Is she
I don't-
is she in agreement with that?
That hasn't been discussed. So what I'm speaking to, so that I clarify, I'm speaking to this sentiment that's growing on the Democratic side that they're not really voting for Biden, but they're voting for RBG's replacement.
Yeah.
So there is a popular idea that is what is going to happen when Biden gets in office. That doesn't mean that this is some factual, there's a news, some article that you can source or anything like that.
Whatever, like, people's idea of Biden's competency is, he seems to be like aligned with his team on like the issues. So it doesn't seem to be like that kind of lunacy where like he's going to be.
I wasn't impressed with his black agenda.
Well, that's not.
I'm just
throwing
that's
not
out
a surprise. Yeah, that's not a
I mean,
surprise.
he put his foot in his mouth, like, talking to Charlemagne the God. Then
Yeah,
I just think, you know what?
I'm over that though.
Yeah. No, I've been saying this for months, though. Like, I was really wondering, like, even back as far as, like, South Carolina, I'm having conversations with people where I'm like, I'm having trouble understanding why so much of the Black community preferred him over Bernie. And I feel like, I don't have a leg to stand on because there's nothing really that
I can tell you why.
I can
I
say.
feel like his association with Obama is what drove him to popularity.
Well, I can
That's
tell
what
you
I was
why.
gonna
It's more than that. But yeah, I can tell you in under 10 minutes before we hop back on again. So, like, here's the deal, right? Like, people like the Clintons, like, spent years forging relationships with people. So, like, people.
So that's
in
why
the
they trusted
community-
Hillary over Bernie too.
Yeah, so people like actually knew them, and it actually takes like a lot of time to forge relationships with people and to meet and like actually be in the community and like go to people's churches and like build these groups that help people that Hillary built and all this stuff. And it's like, some old guy who you heard has been in Congress for like years, but you never heard his name or seen his face before, tells you he has all these good ideas. We've heard good ideas for like decades, and we've been screwed like over and over again. So like all these like well-meaning groups and like, you know, well-meaning liberal white people telling us like we don't know what we're doing and we're not analyzing the facts and we're voting against our best interests. Like that doesn't.
That's
That doesn't.
condescending, in my opinion, for
Yeah,
for people to
it
say
is,
that.
and it doesn't take into account that we've been like duped like many times before, and that a lot of people.
By both sides though.
That's not the point.
Well,
So
it
if
is
you're
a
gonna
point.
be duped by both sides, you're gonna trust the devil you know, right? You're gonna be duped left and right, so you're not gonna want to be duped by someone you have no idea who they are.
But to
Well, I
say
don't know
that,
about that because a lot of black people voted for Donald Trump.
well, not
well, they're
a
fucking
lot.
idiots. But
Not
to
well,
say that
they-
Bernie
yeah.
would, but to say that Bernie Sanders would dupe you, I mean, even if you did a little bit of research, you would see that pretty much every year that he's been in politics, he's fighting for the common man. And like this, there's
So
no
that's
reason.
No
the-
argument, no argument there. But there's
There's an emotional component to it, though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well-
and then there's the difference between young and old. So the young people, Cynthia, definitely agree with you,
Mhm.
and the young black voters came out and supported Bernie, but the older voters are like, we're gonna go with like who we know and trust, like not something that like looks good on paper, but like the person that we like go to church with and like knows the name of my sons and daughters and like
That's
you know
so stupid.
provided this scholarship
hurt
that my
that-
kids were able to take advantage.
It doesn't
of, all
hurt that
stuff.
Joe Biden has the best. He has a black friend, the one that matters. It doesn't hurt either.
You mean Barack?
Yeah, because
Yeah,
I'm not
that-
going to pretend. I'm not going to pretend that when Barack Obama ran, a lot of people that I know, and there are a large percentage, not a large percentage, but a big enough percentage of black people voted for Barack Obama because they were voting black. Because not everybody votes responsibly, and I'm not discounting what Mike is saying. I'm adding to.
So that's what people say, and that's cool. But guess who those people are not voting for? They're not voting for Ben Carson. He's black,
Well,
right? So like,
they identify liberal. Mike, you're actually acting as if that wasn't the case, and it was. People don't just say it.
So other
You can
liberal
talk
people,
to people.
So other liberal people, Jesse Jackson, he never gets more than a small percentage of the vote. So it's not just about like voting black.
You're right,
There
Mike.
is-
I guess your answer is the only correct answer, and there aren't any nuances.
You're gonna get you gonna like.
No, I'm
take
gonna
this
stop.
position?
No, I'm just adding things, and you're arguing them. Everything. So I'm just gonna let you go.
Okay.
I'm not disagreeing with you. You're disagreeing with me.
I think,
okay.
like,
That's a weird flex.
I think also like a lot of what goes on is that it's very comparable. Like black voters' trust of like Biden over Bernie, for example, or Hillary over Bernie. It's very comparable to like what I see, like being, for lack of a better term, being a white teacher in a majority black community, is that the kids, like, you really have to put in the time and the effort to build relationships with the kids for them to like trust that you have their best interests at heart. And I think it's kind of like the same thing on a much larger level, like what you were saying about like how Biden and Hillary have put in that time that maybe Bernie hadn't at the time.
Well, if I speak for myself, right? I like Bernie. I don't trust Joe Biden. I like Bernie. I actually like Elizabeth Warren. I don't trust Joe Biden. The people that I talk to or have interacted with, I know people who chose Joe Biden because Barack Obama chose him. And that was important to them. Because, and I'm not calling these people stupid because they're not. They don't really pay attention to politics.
There's an
They don't
emotional
get as
component
invested
to
as
it.
say, Right. They don't get as invested as say Mike does. I don't even get as invested on the level that Mike does. A lot of times I get my information filtered through Mike or some other people that I know are more intelligent than me in those regards. I stay informed though. Like I'm not going to make I'm not going to make a vote that isn't informed. But I know people who will because it's just not their thing. Like I'm, on the block, I'm from the hood. So I know people, I talk to people, large contingents of people who will say, yeah, I voted for Barack Obama because he's black, and have said to me when I've criticized some things that Barack has done, they've actually said to me, you're black, right? As if to say, I can't criticize him when he spied on me, and I had a problem with that, and I love Barack, but I'm going to criticize the fact that you spied on me.
Mm-hmm.
Just like I would criticize any president who uses the Patriot Act to do so. You understand what I'm saying? And I've had black people in the hood in particular tell me, like, you're black. And I'm like, wait a minute. If George Bush would have done that, you would have been criticizing him. But you're not, because it's Barack. And while these people don't represent the whole, they are a part of that whole. They are a contingency of people who made a black vote. And they are people who absolutely picked Joe Biden because Barack picked him. I'm not saying that's the only reason why black people did. I'm saying that is a reason why, we all have different opinions and different political positions, and some of us are more informed than others. You understand what I'm saying? When it came to Joe Biden, I remember a friend of mine said that she was voting for Joe Biden because she didn't know much about him. She said, but one of the most important people in American history to her is Barack Obama.
Mm-hmm.
So in
He's
other
the first
words,
black president.
it's like Obama's approval of Biden is kind of like their way of like vetting Biden as a candidate.
But that isn't the answer. You know what I mean? That's not just, it's just something to be considered along with what, I don't think there's a concrete answer. Like, I think what Mike is saying is 100% correct and actually more informed than any information I have. I just think that that's part of it as well.
Well, there's nuance to the whole situation. It could be a multitude of things combined.
Right. I think that's why Biden took the black vote for granted or was so cavalier about it. Because I think he expects it.
I think that he's built a lot of relationships down there as well, and he's pretty comfortable, probably a little bit too comfortable. And, people know him from all this time as well. So it's like, he knows that he's going to sweep the South, and he did better in the South than even folks thought he was going to do. So, he's fine. I don't know who's going to win, but I know that all of my friends in the North who, think Biden doesn't have a chance, or, that he's loopy and all this stuff, none of that's going to mean anything in the Midwest.
I agree.
It's not going to mean anything in the South. Yeah, it's not going to mean anything in the South.
I'm kind of glad to hear that, because I'm one of the people in the loopy camp. However, again, like I said, I kind of get some things filtered through people who are smarter than me in these regards. So I'm kind of glad I'm hearing you guys say this. So anyway, I'm sorry, cut you off.
Yeah, no, in the North, that stuff will play. In the North, that stuff will play. But it's more we're all in the same bubble. We're all young, progressive Northerners. And so all this nuanced stuff that we speak and all this stuff we pick apart, it works for us. The same way we got screwed with Trump, and people thought, oh, no one will ever vote for